All right, I think I am live, and hello, it's Friday morning, and I try to go live every Wednesday and Friday, and today is a perfect day to go live because my husband is doing car stuff again. Yay. And I think he's going to be gone most of the day. And normally when he's gone most of the day doing car stuff, I try to do something fun in the crafty room. And so in the interest of trying to get rid of or use all of my stuff that I have purchased, I decided it's time to scrapbook the Wildflower birthday. So that's what I'm going to do today. Might be a little long if you want to watch it on replay. Hi Margie, hi Christy. Thanks for joining me. While I'm waiting just a couple of minutes for people to come on, I just want to show you my finished swap cards. What I did was I used that paper pack that has like a whole bunch of colors and patterns in it, and I used the brick embossing folder, and then I just colored it with a little ink. And then this part, I used that text print real fine in the background. It's almost hard to see. And the splotches. And I made my little bookmark. And on the inside, I watercolored a bunch of the books. Aren't they cute? And then inside of the card, this one's for the books. So basically it says, knowing you brings joy to my story. Happy birthday. This one's for the books. I just think it's adorable. And then they're all different colors because I used all those different papers. And I wanted to use up those 6x6 papers, and this was a great way to use it. I just felt like I hadn't had the chance to like use all of them yet. And then this little eyeglass is a stamp in this book set, and I just need your opinion as to whether it adds to the card or not. Like if I add it to the little bookmark, like it's sitting on the table or on a book. Do I glue one on to each one, or is it just too much work? So I need your opinion. So there you go. There's that. Please let me know what you think. Okay. Wildflower Birthday is a scrapbooking set that you can also get this as a general paper pack, which I did buy an extra paper pack. You can also get the extra sticker sheet. So if you don't want to spend the money on the scrapbooking set, you could just get the paper and the sticker sheet. Now the difference is that the scrapbooking set has all the cardstock you need, so you'll be using your own cardstock if you just go the paper route. Thank you, Margie. No glasses. Okay, I was kind of leaning the same way. I think it's cute without it, and it's a lot more work. So anyway, if you buy this scrapbooking workshop, there is a couple of exclusive papers in here that is not in the paper pack. So you'd have to figure something out to make it identical, but you can, these are pretty simple patterns to, even if you don't have the cutting guide, these are very basic layouts that most of my customers would be able to recreate fairly easily. Now, also, a difference is in the scrapbooking workshop, the papers do not have the gold foil. So it is something to think about if you love the gold foil, because it really, I didn't think it mattered, but it really does kind of add a little pizzazz. And I was like, so I kind of like the paper pack a little bit instead. So let me just show you the difference in this paper, for example. So we have the scrapbooking here and then the paper pack here. I'm going to move it really close so that you can see. And then I'm just going to move it around. You can see that foil shimmering on there. And so you decide, you decide. So I kind of like the foil. And so I'm gonna, real quick, I'm gonna swap that out. And there's another piece in here, I think, that is a foiled piece that I don't know if it matters in the scrapbook workshop, but here in the paper pack, this is one of my favorite prints. It's kind of a scallop sort of print. And in the paper pack, you can see it's got that foil. I'm not going to swap that one out because I like it so well on cards. I really think it adds a lot to the cards. Basically every paper in here, if you buy the paper pack, there's a foil version, okay? And so it's something to think about. You can see there's the foil version versus the plain version. And, you have to decide. But the only one I'm going to swap out is the cake. So I just wanted to show you that. Now the other thing that I was kind of thinking about, sorry, I got to put this in a pile and knock things off my desk. The other thing I was thinking about is on the second layout, the first layout I like just fine. The second layout is got a pink background. And after we get to the cuts and stuff, I am not in love with that. I don't do a lot of feminine birthdays or celebrations. Most of our celebrations and things are more guys or generic. And so this one, I'm thinking I may not use the pink background. And looking at the papers that are in it, I can't decide if I'd rather use something else like the blueberry bushel, or maybe, I think this is pool party. Not sure. I think it's pool party. So when you are looking at your papers, yes, pool party. See, I need my swatch thing with me all the time. When you're looking at the workshop and trying to decide, is it worth it, is it not, whatever, it's a good idea to really look at the layouts that you're going to be making and decide what you want to do. So here's what I'm going to do to start with. This is a sticker sheet. Now the sticker sheet is the same no matter if you buy the workshop or just buy it separate, but I'm going to put that separate because I'm not ready for it yet. And then you get the different photo holders, and there is a cardstock sheet that they put in that it tells you all the different colors: blueberry bushel, old olive, peach pie, pool party, pretty in pink, and soft seafoam. And I'm going to set this aside because you don't really use it in the workshop, but it's kind of nice to have that heavier kind of cardstock chipboard around in case you need to mail something or when you store things. I like the foil a lot, and I like the way the scallop is used in this is as a background page. I don't even think the foil would be wasted. I would feel the need to gut that or something. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do the punch outs because these have a tendency to drive me crazy. And when I do punch outs, I kind of ripple the paper a lot. It doesn't really mess up your dies. What's nice is on the back, it tells you which project it's in. And I have these little containers. And so I can just put them, you know, like 1, 2, 3. And that's project 3. A lot of times these punch outs just start falling out. Project 2. What's really neat about the paper pack also is that it does come with a sheet that is cut apart. So if you're a scrapbooker, I mean card maker or scrapbooker really, but if you're a scrapbooker, you don't have to have the scrapbooking workshop to make some amazing pages, right? You can, so I'm not trying to talk you out of it. I'm just saying, really look at what you're getting and let that help you decide. I kind of like these kits where everything is included and all in one place. And, you know, the instructions are there. And on days like today, when I'm just goofing around, I don't necessarily want to be creative. I just want to work on something fun. And these kits are perfect for that. So, yeah. Isn't that cake pretty? Project 1. So I have, this is the season of birthdays for Steve's family. In Steve's family, everybody is like February. And so that keeps everybody busy. So the back of this, there's different swirls. They're very hard to see. But these punch outs are like this. And so I'm going to wait till I get to them because most of these are project 3 and I may or may not even get to that today. I'm not sure. Let's see if I have any others. I have paper, and lots of cardstock. Lots of cardstock in this, which is really nice. And the other thing too is they are selling the, you know, individual packages of cardstock like that coordinates. So if you did buy all the parts and pieces individually, that gives you a little something extra too. All right, let's see. I want to show you the cutting guide because it is very much like Close to My Heart used to do. And basically, I just want to show you kind of close up what the guide looks like and how to read it. So what this is telling you is that the very first paper you're going to cut is cake on the front, stripes on the back. And I don't know, actually, let me look at the one I just pulled out, that cake that I just pulled out. I should have pulled out both of them. Okay, cake on the front, stripes on the back. And I'm going to put that in my pile. And then on project 3, you use that same paper, only this time it's stripes on the front, cake on the back. So I don't need the foil one on that one because we're going to be doing stripey on that one, right? Okay. Anyway, so basically there's the paper and it tells you the orientation to put it in your trimmer. So when you put it in your trimmer, you're going to do it with the cake face up. And what you're going to use is this front piece unless there's a little asterisk next to it. And so this piece right here is going to get flipped over and used on the other side. Otherwise, this is all front, okay? And then the scissor up here indicates where you should start cutting. Your very first cut should be that cut. And they've arranged these so that you will save the most amount of paper. Every now and then, I want to save my paper going a different direction or something, and I might change up how I cut photo mats or something. But honestly, they've done a lot of the work for us here, so we don't have to work so hard. So page 1, we start with the cake side up, and then the other page stripe side up. Then we go to this pink paper. I'm making a pile on my trimmer, and then we do another one of the pink papers, pink stripe up, and then we go to the paper that is check on one side and blue on the other, and it will be blue side up, and then we cut another one that is blue side up. And then we start into the cardstock. And so we go to the peach pie cardstock. And when we get to that cutting guide, when we get to cutting this, you will see that one side of the paper is dark and one is light. And it tells you which side you should be up. Light should be up on one page, and the next one, the dark side, should be up. So really watch what you're cutting, okay? And then we have white willow, and it looks like we're gonna do 2 sheets of white willow and 2 sheets of white willow. The rest of these pieces of cardstock are our bases, basically. So from there, you can put your pieces in order of how you would use them as bases. So base 1 will be this stripey, base 2 will be the pink, and base 3 will be the specialty paper. So let's see what I have left here. I have got 4 pieces of white willow and 2 pieces of pink. And what did I do with my, I think I stacked them up over here. Hold on. I don't know. Since I was messing around so much, I have lots of stuff here, but we will sort as we go. Okay, so the main thing is I'm going to put these on my trimmer upside down. I have all my pieces of paper in order of how I'm going to trim. And I think I usually use my chopper to trim. So I'm going to zoom out on my camera just a little bit. Just so you can see more of my crazy desk. But this way I can show you my trimmer and the cutting guide. All right. So the first piece we're going to trim is the cake, and we're going to put it with the cake upright, cake on the top, and the main thing we are going to trim, actually, I think I'm going to get rid of this board. Hold on. It's just a little bit small for what I'm working with here. Okay, so the very first thing that we want to trim is at 7 inches. So we're going to slide this over to 7 inches and make a cut. Okay, and then while this is in the trimmer, we're going to flip it, and we are going to cut this 1 1/4 here at the bottom off. So we're going to move it 1 1/4 and chop. This piece is at 10.5. Okay, so 7 by 10.5 goes in pile number 1. And then this little piece that fell off is 5 1/4. And it is going to be stripy side because it has an asterisk next to it, and it will go in pile 1. And then anything that is white on your guide is a scrap. So I always just keep my scraps in a separate pile. You just never know when you're going to want to use them. And then this one is going to be 3 inches. I'm going to cut it at 3 by 10.5. And this also goes in pile 1. And then these are scraps, which is great. That's a nice size scrap. Okay, so then we're going to go to the next paper. And this paper is the stripe, and it is showing us that our stripe needs to be in the trimmer in a vertical direction. Do you see that? So don't put it into your trimmer where the stripe is sideways, right? That would be wrong. So we're putting it in with this side up and the stripes are vertical. And our first cut is at 10. We're gonna cut 10 inches. So this piece that falls off is another scrap. Okay, now we are gonna turn it and we're gonna cut 1 1/4 inches off the bottom. And I'm just gonna let that fall for a minute. And we have our stripes vertical, and these are gonna be cut at 5. So it should be 10 inches wide, and we're moving it to 5 and cut. Now these two pieces should be 5 by 9 3/4. So we're gonna put it at 9 3/4. These two pieces go in pile number 3. So these are 5 by 9 3/4 stripe side and project 3. And then the two little pieces that fell off are scrap. And then we still have this stripe to deal with. And this one is 10 by 1 1/4. Now we know it's 1 1/4 because we already measured that. So we just need to put that in, make sure it's 10, and it is. And that goes in pile 1, stripe side up. All right, next, we're gonna do the cute little pink stripe. It is flowers on the back. And these, again, the stripes are going horizontal, and the first cut is at 5 inches. So we're gonna take this down to a 5-inch mark. I move it to 7 to cut 5 off the side. I know that's a weird backwards way to do it. And then we need another 5-inch piece, so I'm gonna put that at the 5-inch mark. Okay, so here's what we've got. We've got 2 5-inch pieces and then the piece that fell off the trimmer. And we're just gonna set that aside for a minute. These are 5 by 11 1/2. So if you turn this horizontal and trim it at 11 1/2, these 2 pieces, 5 by 11 1/2, these are scraps. And there's an asterisk by them, meaning we're going to use the floral side of these on project number 2. So this goes in pile number 2. Now we have this strip to deal with, the one that fell off. It is going to be 1 1/4 by 10 1/4. So you put it in your trimmer at 1 1/4. The piece that falls off is scrap. And then we're gonna horizontal flip it to 10 1/4. And then this piece is scrap. Do you notice I keep all my scraps? You never know when you're going to use it as a banner or something, right? Okay, so this is project 1 with the stripe side up. All right, next piece. We're making progress. It's another stripe. The floral is on the back. The stripes are horizontal. The first cut is at 3 3/4. And you cut. The next, we need another 3 3/4. So 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3/4. And then the very last piece is 1 1/4 by 5. So I'm just going to cut a 1 1/4 inch strip off. And then the piece that's left is going to be scrap. Isn't that a nice size? That'd be great for a card or another project. Could do another page. Okay, so this strip that's 1 1/4, it needs to be 5 inches. Chop. And the piece that falls off of it is scrap. And this piece goes in project 1 with the stripe up. Now, these two are just the right size. They are 3 3/4 by 12, and they go pink side up in project 2. All right. Next, we have this, and the back is a check. There's no direction to this. So you can move this any way you want. It's non-directional. The back is non-directional. So there you go. So the first piece we need is 2 inches. So I'm going to slide it over to 10 and chop. And the second piece we need is 9 inches. So I'm just going to cut that at 9. Okay, so the 2 pieces we need, this is scrap. The first one we need is 9 by 9 1/4. So we know it's 9. We're going to rotate and cut it 9 1/4. And then this is all scrap. Great scrap. And then this is project 1. And then we have this piece that is supposed to be 2 by 11 3/4. So we just need to put it horizontally in there and cut it at 11 3/4. I am not going to keep this little scrap. I wouldn't be able to keep track of it even if I was wanting to. I'd have to do something weird to keep track of that. I don't know. Okay, this one goes in project 2, but it has an asterisk, and so it's going to flip. Okay, project 2. Okay, next page. We have, hold on, got to get a hold of it, another blue print with the check on the back, and it's non-directional. So I don't know about you. This reminds me of those dot things where you look for pictures and I see a direction in it. I know that's weird, but tell me you don't see a swirl, a swirl, a swirl, a swirl. I see a direction kind of. I don't know why, but I cut the other one with that direction going upright, and I feel the need to cut it the same, even though it's not even going to be on the same page. I don't know why, but it's going to drive me crazy otherwise. I have to have some OCD in me or something. Okay, so our first cut is a 2-inch strip. We need another 2-inch strip, so I'm going to move it to 10 and chop it. The next cut is a 5-inch strip, so I'm going to move it down from 10 to 5 and cut that. And then this piece needs to be 4 3/4 by 9. So 4 3/4. Now this is a scrap, this little 1/4-inch piece. I might keep that, you never know. I use those a lot. I'm gonna rotate and I'm gonna cut that at 9. And then the piece that falls off here is scrap. And this piece goes into project 1. See, it is going to show. Probably not. Okay, the 5-inch piece is a 5 by 11. So we know it's 5 inches wide. We just need to put it in the trimmer and cut it down to 11. That 1-inch piece is scrap. I can get a hold of it. And then this goes into project 3. And then we have our little 2-inch strip. Guess what we do? We cut it at 11 3/4 again. So 11 3/4, and there's another one of those little bitty scraps. It has an asterisk next to it, so the 2 by 11 3/4 gets flipped, and it goes into project 2. So that'll give us, you know, 2 of those in project 2. All right, next page. We have our peach pie, and remember, there's a dark and a light, and I think you can see the dark and the light. The light side goes up, okay? And paper, it won't get folded, so you don't have to worry about paper fiber direction. Okay, here we go with a whole bunch of cuts. The first cut we make is 3/4 of an inch. So from 12, 1, 2, I go down 3/4 to 11 1/4, and make a cut. And then we need another 3/4, so I just back it down. 1, 2, 3/4. Then we need a 1 1/4. So we go 1 1/4 and cut it. And then we do another 1 1/4. That takes us to 8. Okay, now the last 2 pieces on here. So we've done all of our strips. These last 2 pieces are 4 by 8. Now, if you just use a chopper like mine, this way, I'm gonna end up with a couple of blocks that are scraps. So I would like that whole piece to be a solid block. So instead of cutting it straight down to make 2 4-inch pieces, I'm going to rotate it and cut it at 8. And know that this is a scrap. And then I'm going to put it back and go back and cut it at 4. So I have 2 4 by 8-inch pieces. I hope that makes sense, because I think it's a way for me to conserve paper in a bigger chunk. And a lot of people would cut that a little differently, I think. Okay, so these go in project 3. Now we have our 2 1 1/4 pieces, right? And these get cut at different sizes, so I can't cut them together. So I'm going to put one here, and I'm going to cut the first one at 9 3/4. And this is a scrap. The 9 3/4 piece gets flipped to the solid side, the regular peach pie side, not the light. And it goes in project 1. And then I'm going to take my other 1 1/4 and cut it at 10. The little piece that falls off is a scrap. And then this piece is light side up on project 1. And then these 2 pieces are just as they should be. They are 12 inches long, 3/4 inch, and they go in project 2. All right, we're on our next page. Which kit is this? This is the Wildflower birthday kit, and the only change I have made so far is I swapped out 1 page of the cake paper for the foil, because I buy the paper and the kit, you know what I mean? Okay, I think that the cutting guides, it helps to see someone cut this paper. And Close to My Heart used to have videos every month cutting their workshops so that everybody could just watch. And Stampin' Up! Has decided instead they're having these workshops cut for the demonstrators on a video, but not, then they leave it up to us to cut for the customers. And I'm like, that's totally cool if I buy them, but I don't buy them all. So if there's a workshop that you really want to see, let me know so that I can buy it, because I do like them all. It's not that I don't like them. It's just sometimes I'm better just buying the paper. But anyway, let's move on. Okay, so this next page is weird. I don't like the way they cut it. Okay, so you need 2 4.5 by 8 3/4 pieces, and then you need these 2 little strips. Well, I already have this left over. I want a bigger chunk of cardstock left over. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense to you guys, so I am going to cut these 4.5 by 8 3/4 pieces. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut 8 3/4, and then this entire thing will be a scrap. And then I'm going to rotate it, and I'm going to cut this. I need a 4.5, so I'm moving it to this. I'm moving it down 4.5 inches, which is at 7.5. And I'm going to move it at 4.5. So I end up with 2 4.5 by 8 3/4 and a scrap. And these 2 go dark side up on 3, project 3. Now, all I need is 2 slivers, 1 1/4 by 5 and 1 1/4 by 5 1/4. So I just need to look at my scraps and decide which one of these scraps will I use more, right? I will definitely use the 12-inch scrap a lot. This one is wider than this one. So I'm gonna use this one to cut my pieces out. And look, it's perfect. So I'm gonna cut this first at 5 1/4, just to keep my scraps as big as possible. Okay. And then I need 1 1/4. This is 5 by 1 1/4. And this goes in project 1, dark side up. And then this piece, wait a minute. I think that was 5 1/4. Yes, 5 1/4. It goes in project 1, light side up. And then this one gets cut down to 5, and then it's 1 1/4. And then this piece goes dark side. How's that for confusing? When you put it together, I don't even know if it'll matter. But there you go. So scraps galore. We are down to our white willow pieces, and I'm going to set aside a couple of the exclusive paper pieces, and I'm just gonna, when you do your white willow, really do check both sides, because the exclusive papers in the paper pack are white on the back. And so if you just put this in thinking it's all white and chop it up, you're going to be disappointed, because the other side has the cool exclusive paper pattern. So just really double check, make sure it's all white. Now this is where we're going to cut a bunch of squares, which to me looks like photo mats of some kind. And so the first cut we need is 3 1/4. So I'm taking this from 12 to 8 3/4. That's how I cut. The next one is 4 1/4. So I'm going to go down to 1, 2, 3, 4 1/4, which takes us to 5 1/2. Nope. I'll just cut it at 4 1/4. It'd be easier, Connie. Okay, 4 1/4. And then the last piece, we need 4 1/4. The little strip is a scrap, and you know I keep all my scraps like that. I use white scraps like crazy. These 2 4 1/4 pieces get cut the exact same way. So I'm going to stack them in my trimmer. You don't have to do that, but we are going to cut it. There are 3 pieces that are coming out of this. And so one of them is 3 1/4. And the next one is 4 1/4. And then the last one is also 4 1/4. Okay, so let's get those pieces picked up and I'll tell you where they go. Now, one of the things that Close to My Heart always did was they labeled every piece, but these are not elaborate layouts. These are not, it's not hard to figure out where the pieces go, so I don't do that. But if you aren't gonna get to it for a while or you're nervous that you'll forget, each piece has a little letter like 2F, and what they do is they label every piece with the layout number and a letter, and the letters kind of go in order of how you will glue them onto the page. So for example, if you've got a 3A, a 3B, a 3C, A would go on first, B, and then C. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. I just wing it, as you know, I wing it. Okay, so these two of these go in layout 1. One of these go in layout 2, and one goes in layout 1. And then 2 of these, where'd my other one go? 2 of these go into, oh, I didn't cut the other one yet. Never mind. 2 of these go into layout 1. Okay, done, 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 done. Everything except for one piece. Okay, now we're gonna cut the last piece. I was like, where happened to it? 3 1/4, and it's 12 inches right now. So the first thing we need is a 3 1/4 inch piece, and that piece goes into layout 2. And then we need a 4 1/4 inch piece, and that piece goes into layout 3. And then we need another 4 1/4 inch piece, and that goes into layout 3. Okay, and then we have another scrap. Are we on our last cut? Nope, we still got a couple more. Okay, white. Sometimes with these layouts like this, I will cut one day and come back and do the next. This one, we need a 6 1/2 inch cut. So I'm just gonna cut this at 6 1/2. And then this entire piece that falls off is scrap, which is great. So I'm just gonna set that aside. What's really great for that is if you want to use your own stamps and do your own thing, awesome. You can add to the workshop yourself and you have a lot of white cardstock to do it. Okay, we're gonna cut this at 4 1/4. This 6 1/2 by 4 1/4 goes in layout 2. And then we need another 4 1/4 by 6 1/4. 4 1/4 by 6 1/4, and this goes in layout 3. And out of this piece, we need 2 little pieces. One of them will be 3 1/4 by 3 1/4. Now, sometimes when it comes down to needing these little tiny pieces, sometimes I'll get into my scrap pile and see if I have something, you know, that's the perfect size. So like this is a scrap, right? If I use, I'm going to use my, out of my scrap pile and cut a 2 1/4 by 2 1/4 inch piece. And by doing that, I'm using my scraps up and saving the bigger chunk for later, because you know, you never know what you're going to use your paper for, right? All right, so the bigger piece, the 3 1/4 by 3 1/4 goes in 2. The 2 1/4 by 2 1/4 goes in 3. And we are on our last 2 cuts, and this is that white cardstock that goes on that first layout, and basically it's cut 11 by 11 1/2. So I'm going to cut the 11 inch first because that'll give me the bigger piece left, a full 12-inch piece. See, they have it differently. They have it cut where you would cut the 11.5 and then you'd only have a 1/2-inch strip. That drives me crazy. I like to save the bigger chunks. So this one's 11.5. I want the longer, bigger piece, basically, right? So I need one more of those. Make sure it's white on both sides. And here's what I'm talking about. I hope that I'm making sense to you. When they show the cut, they're showing it here. They're saying cut it at 11.5. And if you cut all the way down, you end up with a 12-inch by 1/2-inch strip, where I would want to cut this way first because I want the full 1-inch piece of white left. Yeah, okay. I hope that all makes sense. So this is 11, flip it, 11.5. You have these scraps. These scraps are really great for, if you're if you're like me, I like to stamp a lot of messages. I will just stamp my message, and then just cut them apart. I keep these strips for that purpose. Okay. All right. And those both go into layout number 1. And now I believe we are done cutting. And we are to the point where we can put our pages together. So let me get rid of the trimmer. And so when you read these instructions, it says specifically what to do. Mat your photos on 1H, 1I, 1Q, 1R, 1S. You can see it kind of goes into the right. It goes in order of how they want you to put them on. So adhere 1A to the pattern, then you do 1B, then 1C. Anyway, I just want to show you that. Okay, so basically our papers that are left, we have 2 of these, 2 pink, and 2 of these specialty papers. And the pink were the ones that I'm considering changing up. All right, so we have the scallops. Now the main thing with this, if you're going to use the scallops as a background, is to make sure they go the right direction. Like, you don't want one of them this way and one this way, right? You want them the same direction. And these show scallop down, so I'm just going to make them scallop down. And it'll be 2 pages. Now I'm just gonna lay this out to start with, to make sure that I have all the pieces I need. And basically the first thing that they want you to do is adhere the white with a 1/2-inch border all around 3 sides. Hold on, let me get all my scraps out of the way here. Somebody's walking their dog. Moose is letting us know they're on our property. He's guarding us. So when you are putting your 11 by 11.5 on here, you need to put it where it touches in the center and then leaves an even border on all 3 sides. If you get it wrong, you'll know, because you won't have this, you'll have this crazy border over here on the edge, all right? And it should be even on all 3 sides. And I think just for simplicity, I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I am considering on this page adding some ink because I like, white space, and there's something about white space. I don't know why I don't love white space, but I don't. Okay, so this is where if you're worried about being, off or whatever, you get out your quilting ruler or your T ruler and you have it at the 1/2-inch mark and, drop it into place. I eyeball it. I don't always use a ruler, but this is, you know, since I'm showing you the workshop, I feel the need to use a ruler. Now, I use the Close to My Heart T ruler a lot, but it doesn't show up as well on camera. So that's why I'm using a different ruler that has bigger grids. You know what I mean? All right. Don't stick yet. I'm not ready. All right. There we go. Okay. All right. Now, here is our layout 1 and 2. And so the next thing it wants us to do is to attach our pieces. So we have a bigger piece. I feel like I need to get rid of some of these instruction pages. Hold on a sec. It's like I'm juggling. I'm juggling. Okay, so there's a smaller piece on the left and a bigger piece on the right. Like that. And then you can see we're gonna have some weird stripy elements, horizontal pieces too. So we have our cake, and then we have our stripes. And pink stripes. And now this is where I need to look at the layout, because it's weird that some of them go dark and some of them go light, and it is showing a dark stripe and then a light stripe, and on the other page same, dark and light. So that's our basic layout, and they want us to flag the right hand side ends. Okay. And yeah, I'm just gonna put those together so they're the same. I find that I'm irregular when I do these, and so if I stack them, I have a better chance of them looking right. Okay, there's that, and one will go at the top and one will go at the bottom. I'm stacking these. You can tell they're different sizes, but if you stack them together at the end, okay, and again, dark at the top, light there. Okay, so this is basically how this goes. Now, what they show you here is your measurements. So they're basically telling you where all your pieces go, how far from the top, where, you know, how to make them look the way they did. So I'm just gonna scooch these over, and I'm gonna start with the blue. I'm having trouble picking up pieces today. It happens every time I do my nails. My nails are too rounded or something. Okay, so this piece shows to be 1.5 inches from the top. So on a quilting ruler, what I like to do is, this is 1 inch, and then I just go 1.5, and I just put that 1.5 inch line across the top, and then I can tell you, okay, yeah, I'm at 1.5 all the way across, and then it goes to the edge of the paper. So I just hold that down and put that on. So, There's no measurement from the left or the right or whatever. You just want to make sure it's at the edge. I'm close enough. Okay, there we go. And then we do the cake piece next. And it shows to be 3/4 of an inch from the top. So if you put that it doesn't look right though. Yeah, 3/4 of an inch from the top. And so you're just gonna put that to the edge as well. My ruler's not sitting flat because of this pile over here. That's why it's wiggling around. Otherwise it wouldn't wiggle. But basically, you're basically centering it from top to bottom. Okay. And then we're going to put these strips on, and I am gonna start by, now this ruler has a 0 center, which is really nice to have a 0 center. But if you don't, just put your ruler on where it's, it shows 0 to 12, okay? And then you're going to put these pieces on so that they overlap just a little bit at that 6-inch mark. They're right in the center of the whole thing. So I'm just going to kind of drop that into place around there, and they overlap just a little. I think it overlaps dark over light, but whatever, I don't care. Just like that. And the idea is to just get it near the edge and it overlaps a little and it's pretty much centered. I'm not that picky, to be honest. I don't normally get out a ruler to make sure that I'm all perfect, but I am doing that today to show you. And then here's this stripe. Very tempting to put the blue down, the flowers. Pretty, pretty. Okay. And I'm just overlapping them all just a little. Now there are measurements for all of these. You could measure these. This one is 3 inches up. This one is 4 inches up. This one, so mine are probably a little bit higher. It's okay. It's okay. It will all be good. Now these are photo mats, and they show the photo mats going on like this. Okay. Very nice. Great, whatever. But I'm not ready for photo mats because my photos aren't, I didn't get my photos out. Let's do the right hand side. And again, I'm moving my stripes over, and we're gonna start with this one. Now, it's really nice to have both pages. I'm not going to measure a thing on this one. I'm going to put my pieces together, and I'm going to just put them side by side where they're, that way if you screw one up, it's the same on both sides of the page, each page, and who is going to know? Nobody. So look at your paper and make sure it is the same measurement. If you put it on this way, it's too large, right? You've got a 1/2 inch more or something. And you're putting the papers together and you're approximately lining those up. You could measure if you wish, but no, I'm not going to do this like that. Okay. And then I'm going to put the stripes on exactly the same way that I did before, in that same order, because I want to make sure that they overlap the same way. Now, this is where the ruler comes in really nice, because it's really easy to get crooked when you're doing such a long piece. And so it is kind of nice to have them butt up, but then also line up a big edge at the edge of your paper, and then make sure it goes nice and even across. Once your first one is on, the rest will just be fine, you know. And you know, there's going to be photos on top of this holding it down too. So I don't tend to use scads of adhesive if I don't have to, but I always use a strong adhesive. I don't use wimpy adhesives. Ever since I've told you, I had a long time ago, I had a problem with like a tape runner kind of thing. And there was some moisture in my room. I meant to put this one on first. Ah, dang. I did it backwards. Oh well, one page is gonna have the stripes behind and one is gonna have them on top. That is just how it's gonna go. Okay, is anybody gonna know? No. You guys will all know. Put your stripes on the top. Okay, so then the next thing is like they organize their the rest of the photo mats so that you have 4x4, 3x4. So they go like this. And then we have these photos here. And so see how it makes like a grid? So you're basically putting your photos in a grid. And then we get out our pieces for number 1. And basically this goes here with the little cupcake, and this piece goes over here as a part of our grid. And so, and this, they show their flowers up. That feels wrong to me. I would probably do this. I don't know why. I'm moving things around a little bit because I'll show you how theirs is. There you go. Okay, so basically this page is done. Now, there is a sticker that goes on this page. Special day. It goes right up here as a title. And I will do that. However, all this white space over here is driving me a little crazy. I don't love it. I need something more. And even if I put that special day in pink, this just feels like a little empty. And so I'm gonna sponge a little. I'm just gonna get my pink ink. And I know this will be here, and you know, the title will be here and it will be pink. So I just want to make sure, I want to sponge a little bit of color around the edges of where that's going to be. And I'm using a super light touch, you guys, super light. I've already attached everything, so if you screw it up now, it's there, right? It's there for good. All right. Let's see if I like that better. Why, yes, I do. I like that a lot better. The other thing that I think would really add to this would probably be if I stamped some confetti or some birthday things in here. I have tons of little confetti, little hearts, little whatevers. And then this special day, I'm going to pop up on foam tape. But you can kind of get the gist of how this is going to look with all the photos in place. I love it. I actually think this is actually a really beautiful layout, and it was very simple, but very beautiful. All right, so there's layout 1 and 2, one. Now we're gonna move to number 2. Now here's where I need your opinions, okay? So layout 2 has a pink background. Where's the other page? Hold on, hold on. It's on the back. There we go. Okay, so layout 2, left and right, looks like this. Now, first of all, I find that Celebrate in green a little jarring. It's just it's a lot. So I feel like I need something other than pink to help me. It may be beautiful. You may love them. But it's a little bold for me. So if I do the bold side and put that, I'm trying to rearrange my desk. Hold on a second, y'all. I got too much junk on here. Okay, if I do the pink with this bold green, not exactly my cup of tea. And the colors of the papers that go on to this are like these, okay? So I'm not loving the pink. The one thing you can try is to flip it over and try the lighter side. Do you like the lighter side better? Because sometimes that's enough. And actually, it really does look a lot better with the lighter pink. It's not quite so jarring. And maybe it's the Celebrate in green that's driving me crazy more than anything. I don't know. But I did grab some other colors just in case. I thought, you know, I think this might look really good instead of pink, using it with Pool Party, because there's Pool Party in this set, and you can kind of see, if I get out my own, you know, you can kind of see that really changes the layout a lot. It changes the layout a lot. I like that a lot better. And even the Celebrate green on here looks better to me. The other color that I grabbed is Blueberry Bushel to try, because that's a much bolder color. But I was like, it really makes that blue and that flower print pop. And the Celebrate is calmer. Okay, what do you think? Anybody? Who's still watching? I just need an opinion on which way to go. Do I go with the Pool Party, the pink, or Blueberry Bushel? No opinions. That means I have to go with my own. I know. And which color do you like? Do you like the blue or pool? See, I like the Pool Party too. Okay, that's what I'm going with. So there we go. Next. All right, so now I could use this pink on another project. I'm not like saying it's an ugly color. I just think it needed some softness, and I needed it to not be pink. And I'm not even really sure I love the yellow in it. Like, if I made these stripes in blue, that might do it for me. It's just something I look at all the time to say, what do I like better, you know? Now, the decorations on this page have a lot of that yellow in it, and there's not much that shows. So I'll just stick with that. And all right. Okay. Thank you for your help. All right. So here's what we're going to do. We are going to separate our pieces. We want to, it always starts with matting your photos. They want us to flag the ends of this one and the right side of this one. So in other words, there's going to be a flag at each end on each page. So we can kind of, oh, or do we change it? Do we change it from green to blue? Wow. You know, sometimes y'all, this is, I'm thinking I'm going to make it, this is very springy. Such a hard decision, but we have to flag the ends anyway. So I'm going to put them together. Cut down the middle and cut from each side. Okay, so that's prepped. There's one on each page. Decisions. I don't know what I like better. I think I, okay, yeah, I think I like the blue. All right, and then it says some of the horizontal pieces meet in the center of the spread, and then basically they tell you the order to put them in. So what they're saying on here is, let's just split these up. So there's one on each page here and one on each page here, and we'll just do the left page first, just so it's out of the way. And basically, we're going from the top, from the bottom to the top, and it wants us to attach this one 3/4 of an inch from the bottom, and then to attach this above that directly, and then we have this one that will go up here, and I can't remember, I don't know why it had us cut a whole big strip of this when we're totally, completely covering that up. Look how much of that shows. That is all that is going to show on this page. There is no way that I'm going to keep that under there. And then it has this piece on the top here. Okay, and we are going to use the punch out coils. So you guys decide, blue or green, blue or green, blue or green. While I punch out these coil things, springs, coils, telephone wires. Ugh, each one has a little center thing that needs punched out. I shouldn't complain. I mean, it's all cut for me, basically. I'm like, oh, I don't want to have to punch those out. Okay, and then there's one on each page for the little coil thing. Yeah, blue, blue, blue. Okay, good, 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 good. That's what I'm going with. Going with blue. All right. This coil thing right here is the reason why liquid glue is so amazing. Is because nobody wants to put glue on the back of that with a tape runner. All right. Okay, we're ready to start adhering, and the first piece is this pink piece. And it goes 3/4 of an inch from the bottom. So I'm taking, again, I'm taking my quilting ruler, and this is 1/4, 1/4, 1/4. So if I put this line right here along the bottom of my page, right there, and it's nice and straight, then my paper will stay nice and straight as well. I just go along my ruler and boom. Okay. And then, even though I still managed to get it a little tiny bit crooked. Oh well, such is life. And then they want us to put that crazy, weird piece on there. I just don't get it. I'm gonna put this one on. So this one goes against here. That. And then this piece goes here. I'm looking to see if it even shows anywhere along the center of the page, like in between your photos or anything, and it doesn't. It's just illogical to me. So I'm gonna chop it, and I'm just gonna put a little piece of it over here. And then we have this piece that goes right here. And this piece shows to be 3 3/4 inches up from the bottom. So you could measure that, you know, 3 3/4, it's right there. So it's approximate, it's just a little bit lower than your yellow. And I'm just eyeballing that. And then we have this coil thing that goes across here, which is kind of fun. It's kind of fun. It adds something for sure. And here is how I'm gonna do that. And I don't even usually put adhesive on the whole entire thing, mostly dot and dabs in the edge or whatever. Get off of there. There we go. And then it looks like this just kind of goes on the bottom here of this. There we go. Okay. Ooh, that's really pretty, isn't it? I kind of like that page. That's kind of fun. All right. And then we have a photo here. And this goes this way for 2 photos. With a 1/4 inch between. In other words, like they want you to take your like 3x4 and put one here and one here, like that. So just so you can see how that they want that to work. Now, on this one, I am going to go ahead and put my mats on because I want to put the decoration on it. I want to show you how I do that. Okay. So they say 2 3/4 up from the bottom. Are you that picky? I'm like, okay, 2 3/4 from the bottom. I don't usually measure. And then it doesn't say how far in, but it's fairly good inwards because there is a flower that goes over here. And then this one, did I already put adhesive on? Yes, I did. A 1/4 inch between, and it goes kind of at the bottom of your loops. All right, and then on your sticker sheet, there is oh wait, it may not be the sticker sheet. It might be my number 2 stuff. It goes right here. Now, when I do this, what I do is I put adhesive. I either pop it up on foam tape or I do, do I have any actual tape? No. But the main thing I like to leave it blank. It's going to overlap my photo, and it's going to be, I need that much to be able to slide my photo down in there. So you want to make sure when you put your adhesive on that you're not putting it where your photos are going to be, if that makes any sense at all. But there we go. So I'm going to put, the other thing that I'm super picky about is I don't like squishable. I don't like squishable embellishments on my page. I really don't like it when by the time you get all of your pages in your book and there's a little bit of weight smushing on here, this little part may sink in and it might look kind of funky. That drives me a little crazy. And so what I do is I put adhesive on here so it won't smash, but I don't take the backing off of that. And Karen Pedersen has a great way to do this if you're not going to use, well, even if you're going to use foam. She has a great way to do this. And what she does is she takes the sticker sheet. So there's that. So after you've used your sticker, you have that slicky back. And if you cut that slicky back off, just cut it as a sheet and tuck it behind here. When you go, after you put your picture in, you can slide that sticky thing out and it will adhere. And it'll be perfect, right? Okay. I really like how this looks. I think they show theirs with a little more space at the top. And so I probably did not measure perfectly on that. I probably could have measured that better, but that's okay. I like it just the way it is. So there you go. And then we'll real quick do page 2. Are you getting bored yet? I know. It seems a shame to cover up all the loops after all that work, doesn't it? I agree. All right. It looks like this one may end up to be a scrap. I'm not sure. I'll see how much of it shows. I think it's weird to cut a whole page, a whole strip of stuff and not even use it or not even have it show. Like I could have done a 1-inch square. All right. So now we're going to do page 2, which is essentially a mirror. Now make sure your loopy stripe things are going the same direction as page 1, unless you want them to bump the other way. I mean, it's possible you want them face to face or whatever, but I don't. So all right, so there's that. And then we have this. I really am kind of curious why mine looks different. I don't know. Oh, they overlapped it more. They just overlapped this more. Again, why not just make it smaller? I don't know. I don't get it. I'm going to make mine like this because I like it. All right, there's that. And again, in this one, I'm looking for that yellow stripe right there Where is it? It only shows right here on the side of the page. That's just weird. All right. I got more scraps. So, go figure. And we have our blue. And again, I'm bumping my pages together so that I'm lining up that blue to blue. So it doesn't really matter if your measurement is right or wrong. The idea is to make the pages look symmetrical. So, all right, let me see if I can, I'm gonna punch all those little circles out of the coil. I'm off camera just a little. I'm trying to keep the garbage off of my layout so that it's easier to pick up. All right, and then here we are with our fun coil again. Yeah, it'd be tempting to move it so that you could see it better on the finished page, and you sure could. You could even cut this coil where, you know, it only shows really at the beginning and the end of the line. It doesn't even show all the way across. Like this whole centerpiece doesn't even show. You could cut it and you could use it for something else. Just saying. All right. And then they have two more photo mats. One here and one here. And again, I could raise them. I could raise them up. All right. Now we have that celebrate, and we have our other flower that goes up here. I am tempted to move that, but, and then we have our balloons. So the balloons go over here. Just like that. And then the words celebrate, I would foam tape. I should have done that ahead of time. And they are showing them up here at the top on this page, and they're putting journaling over here. But I'm more inclined to kind of move it around a little bit. I'm still not sure about this green. I'm on the fence, but I do like the layout an awful lot. And this is another one where I'm very tempted to get out my glitter paper and add just a little strip of glitter paper at the bottom in like pink glitter or this pool party blue glitter line. It needs a little something, okay? And then it definitely needs gems or something. Upper left and get that. Yeah, could do that. Yeah, it would look nice there. I'm thinking right there, I need a journaling box. And if I, get out my cardstock, like get out my bubble bath cardstock and make like the pink, if that celebrate was in a different color or even navy. Okay. Quit complaining. But see, this could use a little alteration, but yeah. Like a title here, journaling here. I don't like to see journaling at the top of the left-hand page. I like the title, it makes your eyes flow. Yep. Okay. Let's do number 3. I do like this page. I just think it needs a smidgen of tweaking, just a smidge. All right, I'm cleaning up my table a little bit so I don't have this all over my floor, and looking for my directions. Number 3. Gosh, I got these out of order, didn't I? That's what you get when you take the staple off. You get like lots of crazy pages. All right. Here is number 3. And you know, I like that a lot. I'm surprised I don't think I would use that. I don't know, maybe for a birthday. I have a wedding shower coming up that this might look really nice for. Decisions. Maybe I'll use this one for birthday. Okay, so this is exclusive paper that you will not get if you buy the paper pack, right? And basically, they just make the coils go all the way across in this direction, but you can flip it so it kind of goes like that. You can, you know, change it any way you wish. Okay, they just did them all in the same direction. I kind of like the idea of it going like this, you know, this way and then this way, but that's okay. It'll be fine. I'll turn it. Okay, now we have our pieces that we need to grab. I'm gonna put my photo mats aside for a sec. All right, so piece 1, we have this giant blue piece here and a giant stripe. These are the same size. Okay, and this will go here. This stripe goes over here. This is the dark side of this yellow color. I'm not crazy about this yellow color. I'm tempted to switch it to pink. And then a light side. And that's all of our pieces, other than the pieces that are punch outs or stickers. So all of them, except for the blue, get a flag cut at the bottom. And basically just get adhered, which, wow. Easy peasy. I like to stack them together when you're doing a flag cut like that. And I'm so bad about making my pieces crooked that I use my bigger scissors. It helps me not be so off because I'm bad about making these big ones look right. So as part of it is that I'm eyeballing it instead of measuring, because a lot of times if you measure to the center instead of eyeballing it, you get a nicer cut. And I'm just going, that looks about right. So again, trying not to make such a mess on my table. It's hard to pick up all those little pieces. What's everybody else gonna do today? Today is like one of those days where it feels like Saturday, but it's really not. And my husband surprised me last night with Hickory River, which was really good. So delicious. Sometimes we go to Hickory River and we buy, it's like a barbecue place, and we buy their, oh, look at the cake. I like that better than the stripe, y'all. I'm gonna do the cake side. You do you. This is 1 inch from the top and 4.5 inches in from the edge. So 1 inch from the top and 4.5 from the edge. See, I'm just going in 4.5. And then we have this crazy yellow, which not my favorite. Yeah, the cake. The cake is nice. Okay, and then this piece is 2 inches in and no. Does it say how far down? You know, it really doesn't. I think I'm gonna eyeball it, but 2 inches in is pretty easy, and it shows it about here, which is about 2 inches down, which makes sense. It's close enough. All right, and then the light. Again, if I had really looked at this before I cut, I might have considered doing this in, a blue or a pink. I think pink would look nice. Okay, and then we have the cake and photo, little photo. There's a little tag with a little cupcake. One thing, so that's this page basically done. I am probably going to have a larger size photos. I am more likely to use 4x6, and so I'm not gluing these down because I want, and I'm bummed I covered up so much of that cake paper and I like it. So boo. This one, I don't love the yellow, don't love it, but okay. It does, when you add the stickers onto it, and it kind of adds the extra yellow, and then the love this in blue, it really does help. It does. So all right, this is 2 inches from the edge and a 1/2 inch down. So I'll put this at the 2 inch mark and go 1/2 inch down. I feel like since I'm on top of my other paper, I'm a little crooked. There we go. That's better. I need to just get rid of that one underneath. Hold on a minute, you guys. Sorry. Better. Now I'll be straight. 2 inch in and 1/2 inch down. So I had not intended on doing all the workshops this way. However, if you like this, seeing the workshops being done, gosh, let me know, please, because I feel like this is, I'm just moving this around where it looks like it is because I don't agree with the measurements on it. Okay. There's a moose again, Moose is looking out the door. It's nice enough today to have the door open so he can look outside. He likes that a lot. All right, and then we have our photo. And we have this die cut, this blow out the candles, but then we have stickers. So it looks like all the florals now go around the edge, and I am going to pop up this one and this one. I won't do all of them, but the florals go around the edge, and then this love this goes on here. And what a bummer they didn't use either of these. Or this. And I'm like, oh, lots of opportunity there, because I like to cut these kind of stickers apart and use them at the top of photos for dates or little tiny things, you know. I like that. So, all right. Yeah. I feel like the workshop, I'm picky on my workshops. For example, I did not buy the B one because it was so simple. However, I think I have all the measurements for it, and so I can just use the paper pack and show you the workshop. Yeah. Yes, exactly. Ephemera. Cake, more cake. Yes. All right, so there's the third layout. Here's the second layout, which I'm going to add to. Actually, all of them. I'm going to add to a little, you know, we all need to do that. You add to it, you make it your own, you tweak it with the photos you're using. All right, so there we go. I know it's not even, but it's not glued on. So, but I really like how this turned out. This is a nice workshop, and I think it was worth the money. I have 3 pages essentially put together. I just need to grab my photos and go. I probably would take about half an hour to add photos and tweaks, a few little things off of here. And you know that one page where I said I might add glitter? This would be cute. Hooray, hooray, hooray. And it's the right color. So one thing that Karen mentioned is that now that we are actually doing scrapbooking workshops, starting with the new catalog that were created by both Stampin' Up! And Close to My Heart, you know, with Close to My Heart input. Like, they're not just the Stampin' Up! For example, you will start seeing more of where there's 2 matching borders instead of just 1 border, you know, so that you can do the double page. You may start seeing sticker sheets that have a little more little bits in them. That's missing from this set, is little tiny stickers, hearts, and I don't know, little candles or little confetti pieces or something in here that you could, you know, add to the pages. We're going to start seeing more of that. They're just going to get better and better as they have more input. And so I think they did pretty good job on this. And I really like the B one. And of course I love that Everyday Happiness one that I showed. That is stunning. I put photos on some of that already. Absolutely gorgeous. And I'm really happy. So, all right. Yay. Yeah. right? Like, I want 2 of these. It'll be okay. What I do with this single strip is I take it and then, like, I might just put it at the bottom of this one photo and cut it. You know what I mean? Or maybe I'll put it at the top over here on my journaling strip. You know, I cut it up and use it in chunks instead of trying to use it as a full stripe. And so there's definitely a use for those. I know you've seen me use strips that way before. As a matter of fact, I have leftovers from the layouts I did last month where I had big strips and I was just using bits and pieces and stuff. So, okay, demanding. I think wanting perfection, there's nothing wrong with that. You may not get it, but I do like these layouts a lot. So, and I like that I added the foil to this one. I'm happy with that change. I think it would look really nice either way, but it would have been a waste on that other page, I think. So, all right. My plan is to upload this to YouTube so that it will be saved. If you see other videos you definitely want uploaded, please let me know. And have a good day. Have a nice weekend. Bye-bye.